So I have another interpretation of Batman: The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan. 9 years later, weird number. So after watching Superheroes Decoded, starring Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, coincidentally enough, as the narrator of Superheroes Decoded, there's an interesting thing about how The Dark Knight was about a 9/11 world of which the world came from in this universe. And it's very interesting because they talk about feminism, they talk about McCarthyism, they talk about the World Wars, the Cold Wars, how all that influenced superheroes going through history. And then in 2008 with The Dark Knight, 9/11 affected it. Then 2012 with Wall Street, of course. They didn't talk about that, but obviously that was the next step. So, what's my next interpretation of The Dark Knight? It has to do with media. In the film, of course, if you've seen my videos about The Dark Knight, oh shoot, it's probably gone now actually. I had one video on how, I'll explain it to you now since my video got taken down. Before, my interpretation of The Dark Knight was that it wasn't necessarily about saying Bush was a good guy, George W. Bush was a good guy, Patriot guy was a good thing, etc. That was my problem with that ending originally, because it was like, yeah, he's a good guy, but I don't necessarily agree with George W. Bush. It had to do with media. Joker's seeing the media as a terrorist, in terrorist light. Batman sees everything on all these surveillance screens, using stuff like the internet, like I said before on my video on why Batman isn't necessarily a bad guy. Because what he did, like I said in the video, what he did in the video was no different than what everyone else does. Christopher Nolan's a fan of The Matrix. The Matrix is all about the internet and access to information. Learn how to do kung fu and shoot and do all that stuff on the internet to learn stuff. Playing video games and gamification, I learned stuff through that. The Dark Knight is all about the internet. Watching videos of the Joker killing people, which could have been on TV or could have been online. Basically like the Gone Girl of... And even the Simpsons episode where Homer Simpson grabs the Vilas de Milo candy gummy from the babysitter's butt. It's all about how media portrays things. Is the Joker necessarily a bad guy, or is he just portrayed that way because of media, of selling a DC product so that you can sell toys, sell the idea that mental ill people or bad people, etc. In The Dark Knight, Bruce Wayne does a lot of bad things. Yeah, he's not portrayed as a bad guy. Batman's not till the end. There's a very interesting thing I have to say about that, which I forgot, which I'll get into in another video if I forget before the end of this video. There's a helicopter flying above me. It's very interesting that I did this on the same day that Trump got rid of his FBI head. So yeah, they got rid of people in the media. They portray Batman as a bad guy, which is a lie. In the end, which is revealed by Gordon. Even though maybe it was a lie in the first place that the Joker was a bad guy in the beginning. Sure, they said that everything was clean in Batman. in Gotham. But it's not necessarily true since there's still mentally ill people in Gotham, as shown in the film. There's still these people who can do terrible things. Not everything is right with Gotham as a result. And that's what I'm going to end here before I go into part 2 of this video on The Dark Knight 9 years later.